Okay, good afternoon, everybody. As Lisa said, my name is Daniela. I am the trainer for ProQuest, and today I'm showing to you Ebook Central, which is the platform for the ebooks. And this is the page that you will see at the very beginning. And we will see how to search in the catalog, how to read the books online, and then also how to download the books. And also we will see some features that are for customization, for keeping your personal data, let's say. Now, this instance of the Ebook Central is, as you see, is under my name, so is my demo account, which means that I actually have access to more books than you will see. But I will show you exactly how many you will see, how many books you will see. Okay. Now, in the home page where we are here, you will see that we have the search box, simple big search box for a quick search, then some, let's say, introductory little presentations. The name of your institution will show here, and then about down here you will see, as soon as you start using the books, so you might not see it at the beginning, but as soon as you start using the books, you will see a carousel showing the latest 10 books that you consulted, that you read online. Okay. Up here in this blue ribbon, there will be always showing these sections that we will see then in order. And the clicking on this logo here will bring you back to this page. Okay. Now I do not even a search, actually, just click on search. Oh, sorry, I am being expelled from my own home. Sorry about that. I need to sign in again. Okay, so if I click on this, actually I see the entire catalog that I have accessible. Actually, the number of books that you can access is around 200,000. Okay, it's more or less like this. Is slightly less of these because I have purchased some books. All the books that are in your collection that you can search are available to an unlimited number of users at the same time. Okay, so there is no possibility that you are told that the book are not available. Okay, so this is more or less reproducing the total number of the catalog of books that you can access. Okay, so we can, at any time, we have the search box and we can start our search. Okay, it can be can be nanotechnology, for example. So it can be a very simple single word. Okay, and when you launch the search and you arrive in the page with the results of the books results, you actually will see that the results are split into two sections. One is the book results, to which this number is referring to. Okay, actually in your case it would be a little less. Okay, almost 10,000, let's say. And then there is a section called chapter results. In the chapter results, you will see only the 20, well, a little bit more, but usually it's the 20 chapter that contain the most times our search terms, so they are the most relevant. Okay, and they are showing the title of the chapter, the title of the book where the chapter comes from, and how many times our search term appears in this chapter. Okay, and then it says available, and that is information that it will always be available for in your collection. Okay, There are cases where the institution chooses to have some other formulas to make available some books where they might be available in different conditions, but in your case, it will always have this green button and say available. Now, you see some buttons here, some function, and if we go back to the book results, which is the list, the full list, again, you will see the same buttons here. You can see up to a maximum of 100 books per page. So you choose how many titles to see per page in your result page. And you can also sort them by the several criteria. So they arrive sorted by relevance, which means that at the top will be the ones that typically have the most occurrence of the search term, and most of the times the term is in the title itself, as you can see. Okay. But then you can sort them by other criteria, the publication date, by title, or by authors, or by publisher, by editor. Okay. And from on the left here, you have some filters that you can use to let's say narrow the results. You have, for example, the filter by language, by which you will realize that actually the majority of the books are in English. Okay, there are some languages, major languages represented, like German, French, Italian, etc., and they are usually sorted by number of books present, and this is more or less the order of the languages in the entire collection. So the majority is basically is in English. Then we have the filter by subject. And these subjects, there are main subject, then sub-subject, if you will, and they can be used also to refine the results, or the publication here. This filter here, you will see it, but in your case, won't change much, because this is the, it will show you the books that are part of the holdings of your library, which is all that you can see anyway in your case. Okay. If we will see these functions here also appearing in each single book when we open it. So this is for downloading the book. This is for reading the book online, for looking at the table of content, and this one will place your book in an area which is called bookshelf. You might probably need to re-authenticate yourself if you action some of these actions, like putting the book in the bookshelf or downloading. But I think you can use exactly the same credentials that you have used to connect, to authenticate to your library. Would be the same. Either that or perhaps not even. Okay, one of the two. When I open the book, I enter into the page that will give me all the details of the book. And so here I find all the bibliographic details of the book. Here I find a short, sometimes there will be a short abstract, a description, and then the table of contents that is breaking down the book into sections that can be also downloaded separately as PDF. Okay. And you can also reach each one of them separately by clicking on the title. Up here, it will tell you the availability of the book. Now, this may be particularly important to look into if your institution should purchase any book. The purchase would be perpetual ownership, but it might not necessarily be for a license that allows access to everybody at the same time. It could be perhaps that they purchase a book that is accessible only through 3 users per time. And in that case, it would tell you here how available the book is. And in this case, it will tell you that is unlimited access, okay? Which is basically all the books in collection. But for the majority of them, you will also see here there are other information. It will tell you, for example, that you can copy, make a copy of 63 pages, or you can create a PDF for 63 pages out of the total of the book that is 312 in this case. Okay. Now, these limits here that are requested by the editors that we distribute are intended per user per day. This basically means that if you want to download a portion of the book that you need to study, this will be stay permanently with you, this PDF. But today, this time, you can do only for 63 pages. You enter here tomorrow and you have 63 pages more to PDF, okay? You can also download the book and read the book offline rather than reading it online. And here you will see that it tells you that you can keep the book offline for a maximum of 90 days. But to read the book offline, you will need a third-party software, which is basically an Adobe Digital Editions. That's called that way. You need to, and you will see that you will are given the instructions to download that software, and you will need that software because the software is able to make discounting, to do the countdown of the 90 days that remain for you to use the book offline. Okay. Now, if I go back to the list and I use this filter here, you see book status, unlimited print, copy, and download. If I click on that, of course, the number is much lower because this is the number of books for which we don't have those limitations. You see unlimited access, then it says there are no copy, print, or download restrictions on this title. And in the download, you don't see any limit, and it doesn't say that you need to have that particular software to read the book, but you can use any PDF software. Okay, so we are starting to get permission by some vendors to present the books, a certain number of books, with this freedom of use, let's say. Okay, now this is not the majority, but in case you want to identify them, you just simply apply this filter here. Okay, and of course it will reduce the number of results, but in case there are possibilities that they are useful for you, of course. Okay. Now let's go back to this one, and we'll see here that there are the same symbols that we have seen in the list of results. So read online, download the book, and then I can download the PDF chapter from the table of contents here. But then there are also some other symbols like add to the bookshelf, but also you can extract the permanent link to the book that you can then share with some other by email. Or you can create a bibliographic citation of the book that perhaps you want to add into your thesis, into your article, something like that. Now, if we click on read online, we enter into the reader of the book, okay? And here on the left, we have 4 sections that we can also close when we need to read the book, okay? But it can be that if you want to know what is in those sections, in these first you will see the same details, a summary of the details of the allowances, the availability that we have seen in the details page. Here you will see the table of contents, and so you can reach specific sections, jump to specific section in the table of contents. This is searchable here, or it's also searchable in here, okay? And you can search, for example, fiber. And it will tell you when fiber where appears, or shall I have also the other version? Yes, might be the same, perhaps translated. And it tells you where in the book you will find that term, and you can jump on those points where you can find that particular 10, okay? Finally, the star will show you if the book has any annotations, and we'll see when that happens, what we will show in here, okay? Now, let's open and let's pretend to read the book, if you will. I usually start from right to left. For some reason, I am Arab when I show this. Paging. When you want to scroll through the book, you can do it vertically from this, okay? Or you can do it horizontally using the arrows, okay? So you can page either way. Or you can even jump to a specific page in the book. Clicking on here, it opens the box and you can say, I want to go to page 100 for any reason it might be. Then you have the sides of the book. You can keep these sides or you can have the full width of the screen. Or you can go to see the full page, which will make it very small, not readable to me. Or you can just resize these up where you reach the ideal size for you to read, okay, comfortably. Then we have the set of tools for the annotations, these. So there is the symbol for the notebook, the bookmark, sorry, and I can use the bookmark from here and it will apply to the current page. Just notice that I got a warning telling me that as soon as I start adding annotations, the book will be moved to the bookshelf. And you see the icon of the bookshelf now is grayed out because that has been moved already. As soon as I add an annotation, it will be moved into the bookshelf because it will end up in the list of books where I have added my personification, by customization, let's say. And as I said, I could also bookmark the pages from here, okay? Either from here or from here. Then I have the tool for adding notes, okay? Let's go to some part where is the text, okay? You see I have the symbol here. If I click on the symbol of the notes from here and I'd say important, I always say the same thing, and I click on save, this will save the icon at the top of the page. So it's a note at page level, okay? If I spot a section of the text that requires a note, I highlight it like this. A toolbar will appear next to it where I have all the tools that I can apply on this portion. And if I click on the note icon, again, I can say something like copy this and I save it. The icon of the note will be attached to next to the portion that I have highlighted, to the text that I am referring to. Okay, so this is a text note in this case. Then I can also add highlighting, like in several colors. Might be that I have color coding them in some way. Some are for, I don't know, fuchsia is for copying. This is for researching further, whatever is your coding for that, okay? And whatever annotation I add, they will show under the star here. It will show me the list, the point where I have the annotation, and if I expand, it will tell me which are the types of the annotation, whether they are highlighting, notes, or bookmarks, okay? And I can jump directly on them, and from here I can also delete them if for any reason I don't need them anymore. Now, the next set of buttons here is again the possibility of creating a bibliographic citation from the book, from this part of the book particularly. So if I come here, I open this little window where it will show me the title of the book and the URL. And here in this menu, I can choose from a handful of citation styles. There are not many, and they are all, I think, North American centric. This is just a little selection. And because this is a little tool that is incorporated into the application itself. So you can choose the style. Let's change it so we can see. And it will show you how it shows with the new style. And then you can Control C to copy and Control V somewhere else. Or if you use a reference manager, an independent software reference manager, we have our proprietary one, which is RefWorks, but you could use EndNote, or you can export the bibliographic citation to one of them. And in that case, the reference manager will provide several thousands of citation styles. Okay, so that will be a much more professional equipped software for you to create bibliographies and stuff like that. But this is a little tool that is available immediately in case you need it just once for a while, not at any time. The next tool here is to get the permanent link of the single page at the single page level. Then again, you can copy and paste and send it to someone by email, for example, and it says it will bring you back to this particular page of the book because it is of the at a page level. Okay. Then we have the buttons that will allow you to create PDFs. Okay, this is for the single chapter. So when you click on this, you will be able to create a PDF of the current chapter where you are. But if you click on this one, you will have several more options, either the current page or the range of pages. And this will take into account how many pages remain to be printed after you make your first attempt at ranges, or again the current chapter. Okay, and again you have here the menu of the styles, because what the system will do will create a PDF, and in the PDF at the very bottom of the page will present the bibliographic citation according to the style that you select here. Okay. So we try with the current page here now. And the PDF that will be created is a full text that is fully searchable. It doesn't have watermarks and it does have the copyright statement here and shows the bibliographic citation according to the style that you selected down here. Okay. So this is fully searchable, and basically you would have a metadata from this bibliographic citation to make it searchable also in some other softwares if needed. This is for copying. So this is the part that you can copy the portion of the book. And so is highlighted the portion of the text that you can Control C and copy paste somewhere else. And finally, this is the symbol for downloading the book. Okay. What does here is the first time that you do this from your computer, we actually show you the first stage of a little wizard where it will ask you what type of device you're going to use, whether it's a laptop or a smartphone, and in that case also which is the operating system, whether it's the Apple or the Android. And also whether you're using your own computer or you are using a public computer, for example, the library computer, because in that case, when you select the software, you will also be suggested to create a free Adobe ID, which will allow you the portability of the file from one device to another. Okay. So it tells you see here that it tells you you will need the Adobe Digital Editions, and that's where you can go and install it. Okay, take it and install it. And once you have done, you can go ahead and do the next step. And in the next step, we give you the full size of the book. If there are more than one format, you can choose between the formats. And also here, it will give you in this menu several choices between intervals. And you remember that we saw that the availability was 90 days, which is the maximum of days you can keep. But of course, you can choose also a different period if needed. Okay. And once you select the period, you click on download your book. It will actually save the book with this extension that can be read by the Adobe Digital Editions. Okay, so I open the Adobe Digital Editions, which is a little old-fashioned, if you will, the look of the software. This is independent, it's by Adobe. Okay, it's not been updated to the latest fashion, let's say, design fashion of the softwares. But what it does, of course, it allows you to read the book, but it also keeps track of all your books, whether they are expired, if there are more days left. So these are the 2 active books that I have. All the other ones are expired. And it takes into account, it starts the counting, you see. I have selected 14 days, so today is gone already. And then I have 13 more days. And this one tells me that I have 61 more days to keep it all offline. Okay. So this is how the Adobe Digital Editions look. Let's go back to the search and we explore now advanced search, for example, or even before advanced search. Let's go in a browse subject because that's really the easiest way to explore the content of your catalog of books. These are all the categories of subjects.
Daniela, can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
It looks like Miss Gloria and Greg Samot has a question to ask.
Please, go ahead. Is she writing on chat?
I think she has asked a question, but I cannot see that.
Oh, yeah, perhaps in question and answer. Let me see. Let me see if I can see it.
If you have any doubts, it would be better if you address to all panelists, so either Daniela or myself can answer to your queries. Okay.
See, because at the moment I cannot see for some reason.
Can we unmute her so she can talk maybe?
Yes, let me see. Is Gloria? Is unmuted? So.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. My question has to do with the download. So, for example, I was looking at a book and it has 21 days availability. Once it's expired, can you download it again for a second time?
Yes.
Okay, thanks then.
Exactly. So after the period, you can go back and download it again. No problem.
Okay.
You can have unlimited number of downloads.
Absolutely.
Right, Daniela? Yes, yeah.
Not only that, but definitely after the period is expired, you can go in there and it will always be available because of the unlimited access, definitely, yes. Virtually, you could keep it, I mean, the librarians could put you a period like 100 days or 200 days, actually, right? So it wouldn't prevent anyone else to use the book in that way, but definitely you can go back, okay? Please, can you go to the chat with your questions rather than a question answer for some reason? Don't ask me why, please. I cannot see the question and answer from here for some reason. I try to, but oh yes, now I see your question and okay, it's the same. Okay, any more questions? No, I can go ahead. Okay. So I was saying that the this breakdown by topics, which is, large topics, major topics, can help you just sort of exploring particular sections of the catalog. So, for example, how much books I have in religion, for example. Okay, and which is the coverage, how many, well, let's see, this way. I have a lot. And of course, I can explore the subjects additionally and break down by more specific subjects. And so I can explore the catalog that way quite easily. But even the search is not very complex. If you want to go in advanced search, and you can see that in advanced search, I can use several of the filters that I have also available in the results page, like the publication year range, but also the language. And you see again, the language is already sorted by presence, by occurrence. So at the top is the English, German, French, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you can make a selection also by language or by format. These two, in your case, are not particularly needed for the moment because all of them are unlimited or all of them are academic complete. Okay. And here you can include some text. For example, here you can say, I want to search Greek art in the title. Okay. And perhaps in the full text, I want to add bronze. Okay. I have a fixation for bronze sculpture and Greek bronze sculpture. Bear with me. Here, you can say either matches will search the phrase, the exact phrase, or contains will search them wherever in the space of the field. And because we are in the title, it's almost likely that they will be near one to the other anyway, even if it's not a phrase. Okay. So it will search these in the title only and these in the rest of the text. Okay. And I click on search and I get a very specific number of books. Okay. Where I see which are the criteria of the search and I can see appearing my terms either in the title where I have searched in the title like this. Okay. And somewhere in the body of the book will be somewhere here and there will be the bronze term. Okay, might be the material, might be the period of the history. Okay, of course I could search like ancient bronze sculpture as a phrase, for example. Mrs. Matusz is one of the world experts in classical bronze sculpture. So I know that. So you have a bunch of very valuable books here, if I can tell myself. Okay. And so let's say that you want to save this search so that you periodically, sometime randomly, you want to run it again to see if there are more, because your collection is growing in time. When this started last year, I mentioned, Lisa, 150,000. It was 180,000 perhaps at the time, but now has reached 200,000. So it's growing in time. There are titles that are added all throughout the year, and there are a certain number of titles that perhaps are even broken down from the vendors. So it's the collection is sort of dynamic, is growing. And if you want to keep an eye on your topic and you want to see if there are any more titles added in time for your topic, you can save the search. And this is another of those actions that will imply a customization, if you will. You give it a name, and now this will be slightly art bronze. Let's put it this way. And you have two options here in the under the frequency. One is it says I'll run the search online. Or if you select this second one, it will activate the box and this box here with the frequency where you could put 7 days or 30 days. And you can put here your email address or even an email address of someone else. Okay. I put here mine. I don't mind receiving notifications for this, so it's okay. And when I save it, I will find these in the list of the saved searches down here. Here in this page, I have again the quick search box, some hints on how to create the searches. Then I have the link to the browse subjects, to the advanced search, and to the section saved searches. In here, I see the searches that I have run today, but then down here are all my saved searches that are a lot now because I demo these, periodically, regularly. And at the very bottom, there will be the last that I saved. Okay. Now all my searches here will have the name that I given and then the frequency. And whenever they have 0 days, this tells me that this is a static search, which I need to run when I come here to run it. I click on the title and I run it. Okay. But those that have a frequency like this one will be active alerts that actually will run every 30 days, and I will get a notification by email if there are any new books on the topic. Okay, so here I can rerun it, I can edit the book, and also I can at some point delete them. So here I have all my saved searches. Okay. And this is another one of those things that you can do with your account, basically. And the final thing is using the bookshelf. Okay, so we have put the books in the bookshelf by simply adding the annotations. But for example, I am interested to this one. Okay, I might as well have purchased this. Probably I have purchased this because I have multiple copies. But anyway, I want to add this to the bookshelf. Okay, so I click on the add to bookshelves. In this case, I am given the possibility of placing my book here already in the folder or creating a new one. So I put this in a Greek sculpture, my favorite folder, and add item and done. Whenever a book is saved in the bookshelf automatically when I add the annotations, it will be placed into the default folder, the one that arrived, which is the research one. Okay, so this is populated by all the books that are moved into the bookshelf automatically as soon as I add the annotations, for example. Okay. And then from here, I can move them into other folders. And those are all my personal folders here that I created in time. Okay. And here I can create a new one. Now in bookshelf, I have, this is the part where I save my books with the folders. Then I have the list of the books that have annotations, the list of the 10 last viewed recently books, 10, and those are the books that show in the carousel in the home page. Okay. And this is the list of books that I have recently downloaded. And when I am in here, it will tell me, if it gives me the courtesy of going there, okay, it will tell me for each one, those that I have annotated, the counting, okay, of the remaining days. You remember this one is the one that I have downloaded today, and it said already 13 days in the Adobe Digital Editions. It tells me that I have 13 days and 23 hours actually. And this one is still already available offline for me for more 61 days and 19 hours. Okay, so I get this information in my bookshelf. And for each content for each folder, I have several possibilities here of sharing the content of my folder. For here, I get the link to the folder that I can share. And I can take this and send to any colleagues that may access to Ebook Central themselves, saying this is my folder if you want to have a look into it. Okay, these will email the content of the folder. You can put an email address more than once, and they will find the information about what is in my folder. This will create an Excel file with the content of the titles of the books that are in the folder. This will create a bibliography with the books of the folder, so you can choose the format in order to export them into the reference managers again, and you choose the style. So you are creating a little bibliography from the content of the folder, and then you can rename the folder or delete the folder. Okay, here are the usual symbols that we have already become familiar reading: table of contents, the citation, and then the link to the book, or moving into another folder, or removing from this, or exporting the annotations. Okay.
Daniela,
Yes.
may I interrupt you for a
Sure.
second? Just a quick
Sure.
question. So when we re-download the book after the limited days, will we lose all the annotations which we have already saved, or how is that?
Well, yes, from the from remote reader, yes, you can
It
keep
will.
it in your bookshelf. You can keep it in your bookshelf, and in
Okay,
the bookshelf,
so
it will
in the
keep the
bookshelf,
annotation.
okay, so
Yes,
it will be there even after the expiry date.
yes, yes.
All
As
right.
long as they stay in the bookshelf, they will keep the annotations.
Okay,
So
thank
I
you.
would
Thanks.
suggest doing that. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
No other questions.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay, thank you.
I was also requested, I mean, I show you basically all the functionalities, okay, at this point. I was requested to see if it was easy to recognize books that are for different levels. Now, the books are not classified according to the levels of education, okay? But there are some, for example, in the fiction area, you may find some editions that are for kids, for children. You can see, for example, here, this is the section for the educators, but here you can find either juvenile literature or perhaps also versions, editions of classics for children. So abridged, for example, editions, something like that. Or you can use tricks like, for example, I found that you can use something like student guide in the title. And of course, then you choose the topic here. Can be, I don't know, what can be science, mathematics. Okay, something like that. And you will find some guides that could be, you see, gives you also the grades here. So it could be a useful way of recognizing texts that are for several levels of students. Okay, this could be one way, or student study can be another one. You see, something like that. But starting from the point that they are not classified for the different levels of education. That's the thing. But there may be several ways of recognizing some. Okay, I don't know. For example, I tried something like history of art in the title. Let's try that in the title actually. So using let's say common titles that would be likely to be sort of manuals or, um, education books, like something like that. So this is a critical anthology, history of Roman art. Some of them are good manuals, are good overviews, and in some cases it might be, of course, perhaps the teachers and lecturers will be the ones to evaluate them for which level they are more useful. There has I could suggest some tricks like these in order to try to identify books that are more suitable for lower levels of education in case. Okay. Of course, you can search by author also. In advanced search, there is also the author field, and you can search, let's say I tried perhaps Hawkins. There was something by Hawkins, Stephen Hawkins. Even if there are more by, well, this is all the Hawkins available in the world. Stephen, I think it was, yes. Hawking. I don't know if it's plurals or not. Let's see. Yes, this one. Those are two by him. And then there are more that speak about him. Okay. But this is the two texts that are by him, for example. So you can search by author. And of course, even cross with the topic if it needs be. But for example, I could search Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking, matches and black holes. Matches, let's see. And you have several more books that speak about that, not necessarily written by him, but that are on the subject. Okay. Now, you see, this is a different model, acquisition model, and I can just get rid of them by clicking on this filter. You will not need this, but I need it in order to show you a clean list, let's say, of only those that are available. Okay. There's a lot of politics, business management, environment information. So there is really literally everything for anything. So it's a matter of exploring it at several levels. Any questions? More questions? Perhaps we can, I mean, I have shown you enough, I would say, so I can interrupt the recording. And so if anyone wants to make questions out of the recording, so feel more